And like when we used to learn how to sell, we used to meet in a room like this, but it was like 5 of us. And we would go to the whiteboard and go like, all right, like who missed sales today? And we would just like sit there and try to figure it out. So what I would love to do today is go through and like, go through the different parts of presentation everyone has and go like, hey, like who's struggling to get through the intro part? And like, let's try to break it down, unpack it and get better there. Like who's having a hard time establishing why and getting people to close. And then like who's getting to the very end and not closing the deals, right? So this week, who feels like they put a lot of activity out yesterday and didn't sell anything? And it's not to pick on you, it's to help. And okay, what's your name?
My name's Tucker.
Cool, thank you, Tucker, for not being a coward and like everyone else didn't want to raise their hands. Most days when I sold, I did a lot of activity and didn't sell shit. So, okay, are you pretty new?
I mean, relatively. I've been in the business for like 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
I'll use that, like not working hard.
Okay, where do you live? Here now?
Yeah, look here.
Where's Alley? Oh, cool, awesome. So they all make fun of me because I grew up in Grand Junction, where they're like all the rednecks and poor kids come from. So you guys all like look down on us from up in Aspen, but now I'm up here and you guys are up here. No, we used to go up to Aspen, or actually we used to go to Glenwood a lot. And this is before I was sober and saved, but we used to, on the side of the road where there was that little part where the hot springs went out and made a little pool there. We used to smoke weed in that little hot tub all the time before I was sober. Yeah, we used to drive up from Grand Junction, pull off on the side of the interstate and like hop over that fence and like go down there and get tanked in the little makeshift hot spring because we didn't have enough money to go to the actual hot spring. So yeah. It was hippie hot springs, right? That's what they called it. Yeah. All right, cool. So yesterday, what did your day look like? How many dials?
I probably hit like 500 dials.
Okay.
I had 4 prezzies maybe.
How many people picked up the phone, you think, from your 500 dials, ballpark?
40.
Okay. And so you had about 40 pickups and you had 5 presentations. How many, did you show numbers to any of those?
2. Yeah, I showed number to
2.
4 of them listed.
Okay, 4. And then did you close any?
Kind of. I mean,
so no?
Yes.
It's okay if it's a no. It's all good. Yeah. It's okay if it's, and that's what it's like, dude. I used to do that a lot too, where like we used to run in-home appointments, but we used to call it like running real appointments or fake appointments. And sometimes I would book like 30 appointments and then I'd run them and like 5 people would be there. And I'm like, were those real appointments? I was like, kinda. But then it'd be like, hey, Mary, remember why we book appointments? It'd be like, hey, Mary, I'm gonna come over at 5 tomorrow. Well, maybe I'll be there, maybe not. Okay, sounds good. And I'd write it down because I'm like, fuck it, it's an appointment. But then I started going like, Mary, I need you to be home, have your medications out and your checkbook out. If you can't do that and your husband's not there, I can't come tomorrow. Will you be home, right? Like that's a real appointment. And I think once we start making sure we're not head faking ourselves into thinking that we're doing things that are like real activities. So you're like, I kind of closed. Like, no, I didn't close, but it's okay. Let's just figure out how to get better at that,
Yeah.
So, okay. So what happened here? Like what kind of leads are you dialing?
I got some premium yesterday, but mostly age leads, like 120 days.
Okay. So this was mostly age, just final expense, veteran. What there? Okay, cool. So you had 40 people pick up the phone, you got 5 of those into presentation. What do you think, and this is not bad, like 10% picked up, it's a pretty decent pickup rate. What was the biggest thing that you got here? I know people were probably hanging up on you, but why?
Yeah, I would say I don't remember filling this out. I'm not interested.
Was the biggest one, I don't remember filling this out, I'm not interested, I've been called a bunch?
Not necessarily I've been called a bunch.
Okay.
Some of them complain because I call them a lot, but.
Okay. What does the beginning of your phone script look like? Like call me, like I'm like.
I usually switch it up because these guys recommended something different. Now I'm like, hey Zach, this is Tucker getting back to you. See if you ever got that policy pack in the mail for new final expense and life options. Did you end up receiving that?
Now these ones are ones that filled out something on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think like your whole goal, especially what we do, it's always been this way with sales, but your whole goal today is to relieve sales pressure. I think is the biggest thing everyone's thinking about. Like whatever you're saying on the phone, you should be like, how do I make people feel like they're not being sold to, okay? And the most important part is the intro. And how do you do that is like you let people know right away you're getting back to them. Like Wiley and I used to talk about this a lot. Like if you and I went out to a restaurant together, you left your sweatshirt there, you went home and I took it home with me, I would call you the next day and go, hey dude, I got your sweatshirt. When can I drop it off to you? Like super casual, right? It wouldn't be weird. I wouldn't be like, hello, is this so-and-so? I'd be like, hey bro, I got your sweatshirt. And like, that's how you should be talking to people when they call, right? Now, I think the other thing is like, instead of going like, hey, did you get this policy packet or whatever, I'd be like, hey, Jackson, yeah. Hey, Jackson, Zach, I'm getting back to you about that form you filled out and sent into our office looking for the information on XYZ, right? But like, I think like you have to make it so clear that you're getting back to people, because your job is to differentiate yourself from not a telemarketer, right? So you're like, how do I make them know that I'm not a telemarketer? Because a lot of the bullshit that people say in the beginning is like, they're saying whatever they're saying because they don't even know why you're calling or who you are, and you sound like a telemarketer. So I'm just trying to get them to stop for a bit. Like, Jackson, yeah?
Yeah.
Jackson, Zach, I'm getting back to you about that form you filled out, sent in our office. You put on here your birthday was 1/1/2000, and you put your favorite color is blue, or whatever the code on there was, right? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, is that right? Is that your birthday? Yep. Okay, cool. And you're in Colorado, is that right?
Yep.
Like, I'm not even necessarily telling them what I'm calling for yet, but I just want them to know I'm calling them about something they filled out quick, so that they stay on the phone and they don't yell at me, right? Yeah, this is the thing you filled out. You were looking for some options, take care of your final expenses. You put your daughter as your beneficiary, or whatever info you have on the lead card, whatever info they give you, but verify that stuff quick and let them know you're getting back to them about something they filled out. That'll keep them on the phone longer, right? And then I think like a lot of people are like trying, like I think your goal for the first 3 to 5 minutes is not to make the sale. It's just to keep them on the phone long enough to maybe get the sale later. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot of people who are like, I don't remember doing that or whatever, right? It's probably because you weren't, like, your goal should be to validate all the info that they have quick and let them know you're calling them back, and then you won't get that. Or if they go like, hey, what was this for? Be like, hey, I'm just calling just to verify, like, you put your birthday is this and your favorite color is that, or what is this, Wiley, what does it say on the cards for these ones that they're dialing?
They have beneficiaries and favorite hobby.
Okay, cool.
It's the same FX leads we.
Cool. Yeah. So your favorite hobby is basketball, and your beneficiary is your daughter. Is that right? Yeah. I don't remember doing that. Oh, okay. But is that your favorite hobby and your birthday? Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. This was just a thing you're looking for. Make sure to leave some money for your daughter if something happens to you, right? But just very casual and like very presumptive. If you're calling like, hey, did you get that policy packet yet? Like, that's not even what they filled out, right? So they're gonna be confused as shit if you say that anyway, and they probably will hang up on you. So like giving them like clarity and being super, and again, if you guys are selling $50K a month and that's working for you, don't change it. But if you're having everyone hang up, that's where you got to go like, how do I get something different to happen in the beginning of the call, right? Okay, so I think you changed that part. Then you got to these, you say something? No? Okay, cool. I thought someone did something over there. My ADD is kicking in, sorry. Okay, you got these 5 presentations. What happened here in those where you showed numbers to 4 of them?
Yeah, one of them was some lady with cancer. She just said it was too expensive. Mm-hmm. Another person got me at social. 2 of them, like, I closed. One of them, it went from $20 to $26. He said it was too expensive, and the other guy, I couldn't get the right banking information.
Okay, so like let's take the social one, or let's do all of them. The cancer lady, what was that one like?
She said she was shopping around like 62 maybe.
Okay, just 62. Who do you know before her beneficiary was?
Her kids. They all live free close by. She had a bunch of grandkids.
Any insurance at all or no?
No insurance.
Okay. Was she retired or disability?
Yeah, disability was on.
Do you know what she made a month?
Like $960.
$960 a month. Okay. Okay, and then she wanted, how bad, what cancer did she have?
Breast cancer, stage 3, I think.
Stage 3? Okay. Cool. And then when you're going through it, she said she was shopping around?
Yeah, and she just really wanted something affordable.
How much coverage was she looking for total for her kids?
Just something to cover cremation, so like $5,000. And that was like
okay.
$25.
Okay, and then like the stage, did you ask her like how long did they say their doctor say she has left?
I did not know.
Is that uncomfortable to ask that?
Yeah,
it is, right? But like, so some of that stuff is stuff you have to ask people in that situation, right? Where it's like there's gonna be a lot of things like that that are uncomfortable, but where you should go is like, hey, I know this is uncomfortable to ask. I'm just trying to help and do my job. Like you said, you have stage 3 cancer. Did the doctors tell you how much longer you have left? Like I'm just asking so I can help, so I can do my job, right? Because then maybe you go like, hey, why don't we just do an accidental death policy? God forbid you die in an accident before the cancer gets you. Like at least if she says she has 6 months left, like let's do an accidental, because nothing's gonna pay out in the first 2 years anyway. But God forbid you get in a car crash, then your kids get a couple $100,000. Does that sound like a good plan, right? And if she goes like I'm shopping around, be like, ma'am, I mean no disrespect by this, but you have cancer. Like there's only one carrier that's gonna take you. So if you don't want to get it, you don't have to get it. But what I would recommend is we can get that one put in place. God forbid, in the first 2 years you die, your kids will get all the money you paid in plus 10%. Can't get that in a bank anywhere else. Like, you have no other options. And that, wouldn't you agree that that's better than having nothing at all for them, even if they just get the premiums back plus 10%? Yeah. Well, I want to shop around. Man, like I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you have stage 3 cancer. This is the only option. There's no shopping around at this point. Or we could do an accidental policy, and if you die in an accident before that. But like, I think it's okay to be really serious and with people to let them know, like, there's no shopping around. Like, you don't have any other options. I mean, look, let's go through the other. So you had the person that you missed with social.
I have a question on that
Yeah.
before we move on. So I had a guy yesterday too where same deal, just like kind of shopping around, but I didn't know that until then. Like through the whole thing, about to go, see to the banking, and he won't come to the bank. He's like, well, I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
And like up until that point, I had done all the things. But I'm trying to like explain to him, hey, every single insurance company in the country based off your age, health, and your income, they use the same mathematical equation and table to decide what the price is going to be. I have access to everybody.
Yeah.
This is it. And so,
And he just said, like, I'm still shopping around.
who is this?
So I think, like, make sure early you're going through it. If you guys don't, go like, hey, I work with a bunch of different companies. Because I used to get shopping around a lot. So like, that was part of my natural thing, was like, I work with a bunch of companies. I'm going to look around for you, figure out what the best one for you is. And then we'll go ahead and apply with that company.
Yeah.
If they approve you, then the payment will come out in, 2 to 4 days. Does that make sense? But if you do you say anything like that in the beginning of your presentation?
Yeah, I've done it before. I was like, I actually went through everything. I broke down. I went through a whole financial inventory. His wife is going to make $6,000 less a month. They're going to lose over $80K a year. And I'm like, okay, so I'm assuming you just want to replace this, and this, right? You did 79.
Yeah.
Super affordable for him. He picks the gold option, go through, it's $450 or $40K, whatever it is. Go through the entire thing, get him approved, and then I'm on the banking, and he's like, I'm not going to do it today. I'm like, okay, you just told me, as long as we can find it, you want to do it today. You don't need to talk to your wife, yada, 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 all those things.
So when you know things like that, a lot of, like, that's not the real objection in that case, right? Because he told you something else. So I think, like, a lot of people will throw out, like, well, I want to shop around more, I want to think about it, I don't want to do it today. I always had, like, and you could pick whatever 3, but I had 3 things that I always said if someone threw me an objection didn't make sense. So like, one would be that make it confusing, unaffordable. So like, if he said that, Jackson, I would go like, hey man, can I be honest with you? Whenever, like, you said that this made sense, you wanted to do something, you needed it. So whenever people tell me they just want to shop around, what I found is it's either A, I made it confusing, which I talk kind of fast sometimes, so I could have made it confusing. B, I made it unaffordable. Or C, you just don't like me, which I understand, because some days my wife don't even like me. And like, I would say that to get them to laugh a little bit, like a couple of y'all did, like to get them to like ease up a little bit.
Yeah.
Be like, so like, do you not like me, or did I just make it confusing or cost too much?
I was on the phone with this guy for probably like an hour and 15 minutes, and Luke was in the room. I was not letting him off.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to get this guy. So I sit there for probably 15 minutes. I'm like, by that point, it was at $5,000. I'm like, we're just going to lock in your health and age, get something small in place for the cremation. This is what we're going to do. And he's like, okay. I'm like, okay, so go ahead with the banking. He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just still looking around. And he just didn't feel comfortable giving me the bank, even though I went through all the things. But I'm like, okay. So just so I understand, you understand what this product is going to do. It's going to cover the cremation, which is what you're looking for, right? He's like, yes. Okay, gotcha. And then this $60 is extremely affordable for you, right?
Yeah.
Like $9,000 a month. He's like, yes. I'm like, okay. So this solves the problem that you're looking for. It makes complete sense. Go ahead with the banking. You go, I need to walk around.
Well, and I think if someone's giving you like a weird objection like that, and you go through this thing that works sometimes and it doesn't work, then I would just go like, okay, like, you say you want to look around still, which obviously means that I'm not showing you something that you're looking for. Just so I know for the future, like, what reason are you not getting something put in place today? Like, are you wanting more coverage? Do you not trust me? Like, I just want to know so I can do better for my future clients. So can you, because I'm just trying to uncover like what their real objection is, because for whatever reason, you didn't quite get it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what would make you feel comfortable moving forward today? Like, do you wish the coverage was higher? Do you wish it was cheaper? Like, can you tell me, sir, just so I know, are you just uncomfortable with me as a person? Like, what did I do to prevent you from getting insurance today? Because you said you really needed it.
Just keep probing.
Yeah.
That always worked.
Yeah, because that it's under. You're like, I just want to know.
Your way of asking it.
Yeah, like I just want to know for my future clients what I can do to not mess them up. Because like you told me you needed insurance and I failed you today. So like, what did I do wrong to make you not want to get it? And like, you may not get it at that point, but sometimes you might. They'll tell you the real objection. I'm like, well, hey, why I saw this ad on TV where I can get more coverage, and then you can uncover what the real issue is. But you're asking in a way where it's like you're not trying to sell them anymore. You're like, I understand, just something like any way you want to phrase it, but like something along the lines of like, hey, just so I know for my future clients, like, what did I do wrong to make you not buy today? Because you told me you needed this, and you told me it made sense and was affordable. So what did I do to prevent you from getting covered today?
Yeah, and then I think if you guys watch when Zach like handles all these objections, just watch his tone and his pace. Like one thing I've noticed is we can say exactly what he says, but if we say it differently, it will not land the same.
Yeah.
He has a really good like cadence, tone, and pace to how he speaks. So watch how he does that as well.
Yeah, you can't get up or down at all with clients. Like they say something crazy,
They're fighting back already.
yeah, and if they say something dumb, like you just ignore it. Like Dom said it from stage at conference. He was like, how do you overcome? Like, I want to think about it, or can we think about it? And he was like, I always just told clients no. They're like, can we think about it? I was like, no. And I would just look at them like that, and like, but I would just say no, but non-threatening. Just sit there and stare at them and like make them decide. And Dom's like, don't work for me, but I'm like, yeah, it's because you say like no, and like you yell at them. I'm just like, they're like, can I think about it? I'm like, no.
I was listening to an
It works. People are like that doesn't work. I'm like, you've tried it. It fucking works, doesn't it?
You know, I would ultimately, I was 14 when I was.
I would just sit there and look at him. I'd be like, no.
Dude, it's funny because I shaved the goatee last night.
Yeah.
And then I walked in here and everyone's like, this. And then you know that one photo we have of.
Where I'm fat and you're young. Yeah.
I was like, well, imagine what I looked like when I was 20.
Yeah.
I was listening to a training with Paul McLean this morning, and he said, it doesn't matter what you say, it matters what the client hears.
Yeah.
Like, up to the bottom sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the way you say, and that, like, I wasn't saying no like in a dickish way. It was just like, no, like we need to do this today. You know, or you can tell me no, I don't care. But yeah, like you said, I think it's just, and you just keep trying to attack the question from different angles to figure it out. Because like for me, even if I'm not gonna make the sale, I want to know why. Yeah. And then he may tell you something that you can use and be like, oh, okay, like let me clear up this misconception, or maybe he saw some cheap thing or whatever.
I don't like this either.
Yeah, and it's good to know that too. And then you can go like, oh, I can have someone else call you. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like we used to always mix our leads up, and sometimes like I'd give Wiley ones I didn't close, and he'd go close them. You know. All right. So back to yours. Wait.
Got another one.
Yeah. The lady, the social one you had. Walk through that one. What was that appointment like?
So it was some middle-aged guy. He was like 40. He was from Colorado.
Okay.
He was looking for like an IUL. He was healthy. I showed him numbers, and then it was like way too expensive. So we ended up going with like something that was around $300. And then I got to the social part, and
So how much coverage was he looking for when you talked to
originally
him?
he was looking for like $500,000.
Okay.
Did he have a mortgage or why was he looking for that? No.
He had a mortgage. He had super young kids.
And how much was his mortgage? Do you know?
1,500 maybe.
Do you know how much? $1,500 a month. Do you know how much the total was?
I want to say like 30.
It's okay if you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. And then he had. Do you know how old his kids were?
Nope.
Okay. 40. Was he married?
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember how much? What do you do for work? How much do you make?
DoorDashing and like delivering pizzas.
Okay. How much do you make a month? Do you know?
Like 2,000.
Cool. All right. So this one, was this a final expense lead or IUL lead or?
Final expense.
Okay, cool. So like with this one, right? Like what did you show him, by the way? It was too expensive.
500,000, 750,000, and $1 million.
Okay. Why? Just because,
Cause he said he was willing to spend $1,000.
but he only makes $2,000 a month, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Did you think that was weird or no?
Not at the time, no.
Do you think it's weird now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me make sure we're on the same page. You're sharp. I just wanted to double check. So like when you're going through stuff like this with people, like if he goes like I DoorDash and like do you have another income or like are you independently wealthy and have a trust fund or something? I just ask him. Like I'm just curious because you say you want to spend. You said you want $1 million in coverage, but you make $2,000 a month. I'm just trying to understand what you're actually trying to accomplish here, right? And then like before you show him like 500,000, 750, and $1 million, like I want to know why first, right? So like, hey, I want $500,000 in coverage. Okay, cool. Like, how much do you make? Are you married? Does your wife work? Like, I'm trying to uncover their whole situation so you can make a good recommendation, right? Like, how much is your mortgage for? And I think you can even just straight up ask them, like, hey, you said you want $500,000. Like, what led you to come up with that number as the number you wanted? You know, and then you can start figuring out, like, okay, like $1,500 a month. His mortgage is probably, I don't know, probably 200K, let's say. Okay. And then, like, what did you say, he was married or was not married?
He was, yeah.
His wife worked or didn't work?
She worked.
She worked. Do you know what she did or how much she made?
School teacher?
School teacher. Okay. Do you know how much she made?
No.
Okay. Like, so these are the questions that you want to uncover and ask with people too, because you also will be able to find more sales in them, right? But like teacher, let's say teacher makes, I don't know, 3,500 a month or whatever, 3,500, 4K a month. You know, and then like you start uncovering all these things to figure it out and go, okay, so like, is the insurance meant to be on you or on your wife? You guys both make money. Do you guys both need insurance?
But
Right? Because probably in that situation, they both need insurance. They have 2 little kids. They have a $200,000 mortgage.
yeah,
So you can start like peeling back the layers and start asking like, okay, so rather than like getting a $500,000 policy on you, since you and your wife both work, probably makes more sense to get $200,000 on each of you. Would that be fair to say?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense too, because that's what he ended up like going with, was around that.
Right. And then you can go like, okay, so your wife needs to be a part of this, obviously. Does she need to be a part of this phone call, or can we do yours and then call her and do hers later? You know what I mean? Because that way you don't get to the end and then get stuck there. Like, you guys both need life insurance. Would you agree? Like, does your wife have any insurance outside of whatever the school offers? No. Okay, so y'all both need life insurance. Does she need to be on this call? Do you make financial decisions without her? No, I can't. Okay, because maybe that's why he gave you the social objection later. It's like, oh fuck, my wife's gonna kill me if I do this without her. But like asking all that stuff ahead of time. But this is a better picture. Then quoting him $1,000 a month. You're like, he's like, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. Like I only make 2,000. I'm gonna spend half my income on life insurance, right? But if you can just ask a few more questions to where, like, your goal should be like ask enough questions, understand their financial situation and what problem insurance solves, because then you can sell bigger insurance, right? And then you sell something they actually keep. They're not gonna cancel. If you just go like, hey, $500,000 is, you know, 40 or $400 a month. Dude, they can find quotes online. They need a professional to go through, ask questions, understand the situation, and make a real recommendation and push them to do it. So like you uncovered like half of the deal. If you ask a few more questions, and then maybe the answer is I can't do without my wife. Like, okay, cool, let's get on tonight at 7 o'clock when she's home. You guys put the kids at, one time the kids go to bed at 8. Let's get on the phone at 8:15 and talk with you and her and get you guys both policies that solve this, and make sure that the mortgage is paid off for you to when you all die. Does that sound good? Right? But like then you're solving their problem, not just like throwing out a quote and trying to get them approved. Because he got to the social, was like, I want to get on my social, right?
Yeah, I mean, he said he had to look for it, but obviously.
Dude, couldn't look for a social? I would like, you don't know your social? You're a fucking grown ass man. Like, I know you DoorDash, but holy shit, you should know your social. You know what I mean? Like that's, so like that's obviously a bullshit thing he was telling you, right? But it could be because it didn't make sense to us.
Sold, dog.
Yeah. Like,
Well, again, sold.
I don't know my social. I'm like, oh god.
Outside the social.
Yeah. You know, his wife would definitely know his social. Maybe she's the decision maker, right?
Yeah.
But I think like if you like, I think there could have been a million reasons why that was the objection. I would have been like, you don't know your social? You're a grown ass man. Like, you know, on the car, the gas, the one on the right makes it go fast, one on the left makes it go slow. Like, you don't know your social security number? Okay, stop it.
Like that line.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't be an asshole to people. But like, that'd have been tough. I'd be like, you know your social, dude. Come on, stop. Why don't you want to buy this right now? Is it because you need your wife or what? Like, but if you ask more questions up front, you'll be able to uncover more later, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one more. We had one other one. So this one got stuck at banking or social and didn't want to give you a social.
Yep.
Okay. What was the other one you had?
I had one dude, he was looking for something small. He didn't make a lot of money. He made like $680.
Okay.
No, it's maybe like 1,000.
How old was he?
56.
Okay. On Social Security, disability, or
Just Social Security.
Social Security? Okay. And he made like $1,000 a month.
Yep. Spent 400 of it on rent.
400 of it on groceries.
Okay.
and then another like 100 on utilities.
Okay.
And then he was vaping, so probably like at least $50.
Okay, so he had like $50 a month left he could spend on something like this. Okay.
Yeah.
What was his deal? Like, who was his beneficiary going to be?
It's gonna be his sister.
Okay. Because he didn't want her to have to pay for funeral stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened in that appointment?
It went from $22 to 26,
Yeah.
and he was just like, he seemed like he couldn't pay for it, so I didn't send it in.
Yeah, he may not be able to pay. I mean, one like that, he may not be able to pay for it. It just went up because the carrier went up
Yeah.
in price. Which what
I
happened?
ran it for Ethos, Corbridge, Americo, and they all went up.
Yeah, would find it. Yeah. I mean, there's some of them just are like that where you don't want to push it through if they're not gonna be able to sell.
I mean, he just seems skeptical, so I would just like, he's obviously not left with much.
Now, one thing I always did, especially if it was like a expense thing where they could afford something real cheap, is I'd be like, hey, there's a type of policy that pays out if you die in an accident, and it'll pay like $100K. It's like $20 a month. Do you want to do that? Like, if just to try to sell them something, if they don't have any money and they're real broke, like I just would sell them that Americo accidental, and just be like, if you die in a car wreck, then your sister will get $100K. If you die of natural causes, she gets $1,000. It's super cheap. You want to do that one?
You need to have. Do you have to qualify for that?
What's that?
No, that's from mutual of
Oh, Americo.
Americo's is good, but do you have to ask health questions or qualify?
The Americo.
Couple in the A, B, and B.
I think it's more like if you had any big felonies or anything. I think 65 or 70.
Say DUIs.
Yeah.
The felonies.
Yeah, but for the other thing, if you guys have final expense people who are like, well, I wanted more coverage, but they can't qualify, go like what I used to always do. And I don't think anyone does this very much anymore, Wiley. Like I would always go like, hey, we'll get you 20,000 of Americo, like Eagle Select 1 or whatever, and then we'll get you $200,000 of accidental. If you got to die in a car crash, you still get the big face amount. If you die in the next 10, 15 years, most likely will be from some kind of accident. So you have the big face amount, but if you die in 40 years, you're covered with the life insurance. That way we cover both sides of it. And the total is going to be $120 a month.
I think one thing like consistently to do in this office is a lot of the reps that I would get under my belt, I would call Zach and ask how to position the coverage for their situation. Is like what he just went through. He's really good at positioning the coverage the right way, because that 500,000 tuck, like if you offer 200 here, 200 here, and you explain why it's important they're both covered, he's way more apt to move forward than it's like, hey, blank 500, here's the price, call it a day. You know that would make sense too, but he needs to understand why the 200 makes more sense.
Yeah, like we talked about in the beginning, like relieving sales pressure, like your job should be just peppering them with questions so you're problem solving, not selling. Like if you feel like you're selling, you're doing it wrong. Like you should be asking, this is the biggest light bulb moment I had when I was selling was like, okay, if I can talk like 20 to 30% of the time, ask a lot of questions, and then let them talk for like 70% of the conversation, just steer it with the questions I ask, like they'll talk themselves into insurance. Like you ask that guy, like you get the guy and his wife on the phone, like, okay, do you need both incomes to be able to pay all your bills, mortgage, pay for all your kids? Yes. Got it. What would it look like if either of y'all died and didn't have insurance? Oh, we'd be screwed. And then they'll talk about it. And then they'll just talk themselves into it if you ask the right questions. But I think sometimes we're so concerned with like getting through the appointment quick. Like if you have a good one like that one, like you get on, you spend an hour and a half with them, like you hammer in, you figure out what it looks like without it. Like you paint a good picture with them, and then you let them talk themselves into the insurance where you're not even, like if you do it the right way at the end, they'll be like, hey, thank you, that's awesome. Like you just solved a big problem for us we didn't even see. Yeah. But like if you feel like you're selling and like pitching and like, hey, let's just see if we can get, like that's when you know you're selling insurance wrong. Like you should just be just uncovering a problem and then providing a solution. That's your whole goal when you're selling all day long. Anyone else have an appointment they want to go through that they had yesterday? We do one more, Wiley? Yeah. Anyone else have one? Yeah. What's your name?
Larry.
Larry. What's up,
Yeah,
Larry? How are you?
so last week I had a bunch of people just cut me off when I was trying to figure out their why. And so, I was just like, do you have any kids? Are you married? Do they live around you? And then it always seemed like in the middle of it, they were just like, oh, I was already looking into something. And for example, this lady was like, I found something I was filling out for AARP, 20 grand per person, herself and her husband for $150 a month. And I had no clue what that was, and I couldn't beat the rate.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know what was going on, honestly. Like I was just like so confused.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to build the why, but like somehow I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, it's my tone. Like, am I not curious enough?
Do you know how the AARP thing works now? So the AARP insurance, and like if you ever don't know, like just Google, or dude, probably throw all this shit in ChatGPT now. Like I used to just Google everything, but like that insurance is banded every 5 years, so it goes up in price every 5 years. And then by the time they turn 80, it goes away. So I think if you like, and that's what, if you ever see insurance that seems a lot cheaper than what you're quoting them, it's because it goes up in price every 5 years. Now, if the client wants that, you can sell them the true stage term because that goes up in price every 5 years. So if they're like, I want that, like that'll still beat the AARP prices. It's cheap. But when you talk to most people and go like, hey, you don't want insurance to increase in price every 5 years, and then when you're 80 will go away, right? Because most people don't die until they're in their, like the average life expectancy for a male is like 78. So like you're probably gonna die after 80 if you're alive still right now, right? So you don't want one that's gonna go up in price every 5 years. Now, like when you're going through the why with people, what is the first part of your, so like you call me, I say, oh yeah, I filled that form out. Like go through your appointment, like how you take it from there.
So I'm like,
Well, I was with Wiley last week. I mean, him is doing train.
Yeah.
And he dropped some ball knowledge or doing bad knowledge. And
Hey, just go through your.
Sorry. Yeah, I have ADD too. So I was basically like, have you looked into something like this before? And they were like, oh yeah, like I've been looking around, I saw something, and I was like, okay, so like what did Joe Schmo tell you? And then they were like, oh, like they quoted me 200. I was like, okay, yeah, we're not doing that. And so then I was like, you know, God forbid something happens, who's going to be the beneficiary? They say like your husband. Okay, I was like, how long have y'all been married? Do you have any tips for a young buck like me? And then I'm like, do you have any kids? Do they live around you? And I don't know if like I'm asking too many questions when I'm building the why, or like how do you pace that?
Yeah, so I think you need to let people know up front you're going to ask some questions. Like my job is to run through this with you, figure out what you qualify for. In order to do that, like the carriers make me ask a bunch of questions. Like I would always blame it on like the carriers, the boss, whatever, you know, but like the carriers make me ask a bunch of questions that can be uncomfortable for me, but like I have to just understand A, what you would qualify for health-wise, and B, suitability-wise, that it's something that makes sense for you and your family. So I'm gonna ask you a handful of questions. It'll take 5 minutes. Does that sound fair? Yep. Okay, cool. And then like I always like to start with the beneficiary. I think it's, if you ask like if they've looked before first, that's okay. But I always like to start with the beneficiary. So like God forbid you pass tomorrow, like who's the beneficiary? Who's gonna be, you know, paying for everything, picking up all the pieces? And if they're like, it's my wife, I'd be like, okay, sounds good. Like, are you guys both retired? Are you all both working? You know, how does that work? And then just start to uncover that. And then like I'm always asking income early on, income and debt early, right? Do you know, were they younger or older? Were they?
They were older, probably like early 70s.
Okay, were they working or were they retired?
I didn't get that far.
Okay, got it. So I think if you set it up right, and then you can start asking questions to figure out like, hey, are you working? And like you should be asking that early in that, like, hey, are you working, retired, disabled? No, I'm retired. Okay, cool. What is, you know, what's your income? What's your wife's income? They're like, well, I'm kind of uncomfortable answering that question. Like, I'm uncomfortable asking the question. Like, I don't want to ask either. You think my favorite thing to do all day is ask people about their income? Like, it's kind of, it's embarrassing for me too, but the carriers make me do it. Does that sound fair? I have to keep asking you that. Like, you just blame it on someone else and keep rolling through, right? So like, you want to figure out like, okay, like, so Bob, you're 72, your social security income's $1,800 a month. Mary is 66, hers is $750 a month. You know, whatever, you're going through it all, you're figuring out what they need. Like, do you have life insurance already? Do you guys have any other debt? And you're just piecing together their situation. Now, what a lot of people don't know, like, especially when you're dealing with final expense clients, what happens is if they're married and he dies, like they lose her social security, they lose the lower of the two and then get the higher one, right? So hers goes away and then she gets the $1,800, but she loses $750 a month. Vice versa, if she dies, then he keeps his but loses hers, right? So I think one thing we miss a lot when we're talking to final expense clients is like, okay, cool. So you and Mary together make $2,300 a month. If you lose her $750 a month, how much of an impact is that on you guys financially? Like, do you need that money to pay bills every month, or does that just go straight in the bank account? And the reason you ask that is like either A, they need to pay bills, in which case they need life insurance, or B, it goes straight in the bank account, in which case they have money to pay for life insurance, right? So it's a win-win however they answer that question, and you can use it in the future. But we don't ever really talk about this, right? So like, hey, how much of that money do you guys use to pay bills every single month? Oh, we use 200 of it, right? And this is where you guys can start adding things that are more valuable in these final expense appointments. So we use 200 of it a month. Okay, cool. So hey, if we, so for a year, that's 2,400. So 2 years, that's 5K, right? So Bob, fair to say we need to, on top of covering the funeral, getting another 5,000 to replace the income you lose from Mary dying. Would that be helpful to you to have that extra $5,000 to replace losing the $750 a month? Yeah, it would be. Okay. And then when you're at the end, you go, okay, so we're going to do $10,000 to cover the funeral, 5,000 to replace the income. So 15K, which is 101.86 a month. Does that sound like what you needed today, Bob? But like if you ask more questions, uncover what they have going on, then you can figure out how to position the insurance in a way, like Wiley said, that it solves the problem, right? Or like a lot of y'all sell final expense, like you're just covering the burial, right? You ever feel like that? And they're like, I don't really care about my burial that much. If you ask more questions throughout, like you go, okay, like how much is your guys' rent a month? It's $800 a month. Okay, cool. So if we lose one of these incomes, it'd be hard to pay rent, right? Would it make sense for us to look at something that at least helps offset like half the rent for a year? And then you're going like, okay, so we need another 5K to pay half of the rent if Mary dies to make sure that that's covered as well. Like you're just adding things into the policy to create more value, right? Or if they live in a house, they have a mortgage, you're going like, okay, if Bob dies, Mary, are you gonna stay in this house? No, I'll probably sell it. Okay, cool. So since we're gonna lose a decent amount of income, we just need to make sure there's enough money to pay the mortgage for 6 months to where you can sell the house and then get all the equity out and downsize into something more affordable. But the more questions you ask, like I think your question is like, how do you tell them in the beginning, you're gonna ask them questions and you have to, and you don't wanna ask them, but the carrier makes you. And then when you're asking questions, your goal is to uncover all the things that they could potentially use insurance for. So it's not just final expense. It's like, this will cover my final expenses or burial. It'll also make sure that I have $5,000 to replace Bob's income to make sure that I can maintain the house for 6 months until we move. Or it'll give me 2 years of replacing, the money that, the bill money that her money goes to where you have time to adjust to what your new income looks like, right? But the more questions y'all ask, you can uncover these things. And then the insurance it's paying for, your kids to come in from South Dakota to your funeral, pays for the funeral, pays for replacing income. They have that. It's so much more value than just 15,000. It's 2,500 here, 2,500 here, 10,000 here. And then you're solving a big problem for it, so they don't care about the price. And then when shit goes bad in their life, they look at it, they're like, I'm not canceling that. Like this solves a lot of problems for me. So they keep the policies for longer. That makes sense? Cool. Yeah, go ahead. And then we'll wrap up. What time is it, Wiley?
I think he's not even conceding.
Okay, cool. We're good. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a lot of trouble building urgency. So yesterday I had some guy who had 60,000 in coverage. He wanted to add more to have something specific to the final expenses.
How old was the guy?
71, I think.
Okay. And the 60,000 he had, was it
He said it was a work policy that
still working or is he retired?
he's disabled.
He's disabled. Okay, got it. Where did he work? Do you know? Okay. Like some of this stuff is like, some of these questions is super important to ask and dig in because you can like figure out with them. And if it was a policy he converted when he was at work, did he work for like the government or something? In which case he may have that $60,000. Be like, hey, do you have access to that policy? Do you know how much longer it lasts for? If they're like, I don't know, be like, cool, let's call, do you know who it's through? They bill you every month? Yeah, it's through XYZ carrier. All right, let's call them and ask to see how much longer you have on it. And if you have a lot of time left on it, you may not even need more insurance, but let's call them and get the policy details. Are you good with that? Because like that way you're helping them, right? Instead, you're like, hey, you may not even need more insurance. Let's call the company and see what you have and see how it works and how long it lasts. And then we at least know so I can give you a real recommendation. Yeah. Like when I was in the house with clients, I would get their policies out calling them. And like, that's how I learned about how these other companies worked. We'd call AARP, like my man asked about, and I'd go like, how's this work? And they're like, oh, the price is $121 now, but then in 5 years it goes to $212 and then it goes to $345. And I'm like, the AARP is sitting there unselling the policy for me. I'm like, you want that still? They're like, no, fuck this policy, But sometimes I would call and someone's like, yeah, I bought this New York Life policy when I was 18 and I've been paying $100 a month for it. And we look at it, I'm like, this is a dope policy. I don't think you need anything else unless you want more. So I like call in with him, right? And then, sorry.
Well, I'm just unfamiliar with how a lot of the different policies work.
Yeah, you should be. Like, how old are you?
20.
Yeah, you don't know shit about life. I didn't know, I was 22. I didn't know shit about life insurance, but I learned it because I called all the carriers with the clients.
Yeah.
Because that was my only solution. I'm like, shit, let's call the company.
He said that he was done paying on it.
Yeah.
And he still had the coverage.
Yeah, but still might as well call and understand it. That way you know and you can learn how it works, right? Be like, okay, do you know what company it was through? Let's call them and ask. Maybe you have some cash value in that policy you can use. Let's call and see what you have there. And then, sir, when you filled this out, you had $60,000. What were you looking for on top of that? Like, what did you need more insurance for?
He wanted it specific for the burial.
Okay.
And I got all the way. I got his social. I was filling out that.
Who was the $60,000 getting left to?
His daughter, Clonisha.
And then was the burial insurance getting left for her as well?
Yeah.
Got it. I'd be asked, like, why do you want 2 different insurances for her? Like, does she need the $60,000 for something, or is it to, help her pay off debt? But like, I'm trying to understand, like, because when they saw the ad, they had an idea in their head of why they wanted it, right? So I'd be like, you have that $60,000, like, do you know what she would use that for? And then do you just want a separate burial policy so you can get something like that will pay out super quick? Or like, what was your goal with having the 2 different policies for her? And like, I don't want to move past that stuff until I understand, because then you'll get the weird objection later.
Right.
So if you don't feel like you understand what they're looking for and why, like, you should keep asking questions to uncover it before you move forward. Because then you get to the end and they're like, well, I don't want to give you my social. It's like, dude, I give all kinds of fucking random people my social. I don't care. But like, that's never the issue, but it's a good reason to be combative, right? So I think you just need to like press them on it and ask them more questions, understand what their thought process was. Okay. Like, you say you wanted a separate final expense policy. Is that because this $60,000 runs out at some point, or does your daughter have that earmarked for something else already? Like, it's to go to college funds, or like, what's your thought process between having 2 separate policies? Because you got to the end and he was like, I don't know if I want to move forward. Let me think about it, right?
Yeah, he said he wanted to talk to his friend who was like a financial advisor.
Yeah, right. That's a smokescreen. That's not a real objection, right? Be like no one wants to talk to financial advisors about life insurance. They don't know shit about life insurance. Otherwise, they would have their license. So like, that was the reason you got that smokescreen, is because you didn't uncover the real issue at that like pivotal point, which is like, why are you looking at getting 2 different policies? You know what I mean? And then you can uncover that with him, and learn about his policy at least, right? You can call in. You may be able to find out like, oh, hey, this was $60,000 when you worked. It's only $10,000 now, because a lot of those policies that people could keep from their employers go down over time. But the only way to find that stuff out is to call that carrier and ask and figure out what's really going on with it. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And dude, if you ask a lot of questions, you'll find crazy stuff. Like, I remember times where I'd be like meeting with someone and I'd be like, but why do you want 2 different policies? And they would like not be able to explain. I'm like, dude, I'm not judging you. I just need to understand why. And they'd be like, well, like, this one's for my wife, this one's for my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, deal. Like, I'm just a life insurance agent. I don't care what you do in your personal life, but it makes sense now why you want 2 policies, right? Or like, hey, like my baby daddy can't know about this one because I'm like, dude, I don't care about your legal bullshit. I just need to understand why so I can help you, And so I think like the more you ask, like, you'll uncover these weird things and be like, okay, this makes sense. Like, you want to leave this policy for this daughter that you have with this dude, and then you don't want this dude to know about this other policy. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, okay, like, people are weird. Let's find out the real reason why you're doing this, Make sense? Cool. All right, Bruce Hotel.